Welcome to Seaway Whiskey Wire. Tonight at the bar, we've got the Sexton Single Malt Irish Whiskey. Stay tuned. Hope you guys like that hat. I'm gonna see it for a little bit more. Thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and tonight in the bar we've got the Sexton Single Malt Irish Whiskey coming in. It's an offering from the Bushmills company. It's really just a spin-off of their core range, and it kind of sits alone by itself. They did a special release for the Walking Dead promotion. I'll probably put that up somewhere around here. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of a standalone on its own. Very unique in that matter, but yeah, great offering from the Bushmills company. So I'm going to quickly get into the specs of the bottle because we need to kind of get that out of the way. So it comes in at 40% ABV, chill filtered, and likely color added. It doesn't stay anywhere on the website if it's not, and so if they don't say anything about it, then I usually assume that it is. And yeah, maturation process, they claim to use only sherry casks, ex-sherry casks in this, and that'll be really, you'll see that come out in the nosing and tasting notes as well as the color. As much as the color is unnatural, you'll still see it kind of reflected in those colors. Presentation wise, we'll get into the presentation here. It's definitely one of the best parts of this whole whiskey is the bottle. The bottle is so cool. It's like an apothecary style bottle, and it's got some information on the side of it here, a little bit of some lore of the Sexton, kind of how it came to be. They talk about the distilled in copper pots, the triple distillation, the single malt portion of it there. But yeah, it's just a cool bottle. It's got the little skeleton on it with the top hat. It's got that on the cork as well as just being an all-around good-looking, black bottle with gold writing. Very regal, very nice, and one of the best parts of this whiskey. But still got a ways to go. So we'll get into the pour and pop the cork on that. Get her into my nice little Whiskey Wonderland Glencairn here. I picked up at the festival there a couple weeks ago. And look at that color. So, the sherry influence is, I can tell you right now, just the nose too, it's coming. But the color is very reminiscent of like a long time, been in a sherry cask for a very long time. And I'll put it up here and you have a look at the color. But it's a real deep, dark orange, amber, copper color. Like very, very deep, like almost to I would almost say like almost going towards a syrup color, for like a dark maple syrup with some orange tinge to it there. Yeah, very, very nice, and it's well reflected in that. Yeah, it's got some nice legs to it too. It's a thinner liquid being at 40%, but it does have some legs. You can kind of see it clinging to the side of the glass for sure. So we'll get into the nosing notes, but before we do, please feel free to pour along and drink along with me. If you have something from Bushmills, if you have the Sexton, if you have another Irish whiskey you want to drink along, I encourage it. Please drink along. Makes things a lot better and funner for you on your end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me. So with that, let's get into the nosing notes for the Sexton Single Malt Irish Whiskey. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, very reminiscent of sherry influenced offerings from other even scotches. I would say you get those dates and those raisins, gold and dark raisins. I'm getting some butterscotch on there as well. You can stick your nose right in there and get that butterscotch and the honey. Honey's there as well. Some toffee notes and vanilla. Candied oranges in there, like candied orange peels that you put in like a cocktail. Maybe even some cherries in there too. Really much it's dry fruits and ripened fruits, and then you get those honey notes and caramel notes and vanilla notes and butterscotch notes. Yeah, very nice nose. All right, so we'll get on to the tasting notes and see what we can get out of the Sexton. So, Slanja, to your health. Let's dive into it. Yep. Okay. So I get a lot of dates. I get a lot of raisins, both golden and red raisins, or darker raisins. I'm getting some burnt caramel on there too. Yeah, it's pretty strong burnt caramel. Like you had like the top of a creme brulee and they torched it, but they torched it just a little bit too long. Started to turn a little bit brown or black on there. You get the butterscotch notes, but it's really kind of dominated by that burnt caramel note. Yeah, it's very much the burnt caramel note. Brown sugar, maybe some icing sugar in there as well. Yeah, it's very Christmas cake-esque too. A little bit of spice on the back end. Nutmeg and cloves and cinnamon. Yeah, very much dominated by those dates, those raisin notes, that burnt caramel, brown sugar, butterscotch and toffee, the vanilla. Yeah, pretty complex altogether for sure. So we'll get into the finish. Yeah. So what can I say about the finish? It's short to medium. It's got a lot of layers to it, but they're pretty short. Like I said, you get those sweet notes at the beginning, and then it kind of goes into that burnt caramel note, and then at the end it tails off with those Christmas cake spices, as well as some vanilla and honey there. Very clean all around dram for sure. But yeah, good amount of layers, but it finishes quickly. So let's get that out of the way. Very gentle spirit as well. 40% ABV. You could expect that. It's not like really overpowering or anything like that. It's complicated and it has that going for it, but it's none of those like knock your socks off. It's not a sherry bomb. It's not, any kind of like really oomph to it like that. There's no smoke. There's a little bit of spice, but not enough to really warrant adding water or anything like that. So it's very good, neat. For what you get, there is very much rich flavors in there. And when I'm saying it, I guess what I'm trying to focus on those rich flavors is those dried fruits, those sherry notes, the butterscotch, the caramel, the vanilla. Very rich and very, very vibrant for the time that they're there on the palate. The big thing this dram has going for it is following the 3 A's, which is affordability, approachability, and accessibility. It's such a wonderful dram. It's very well known, very much available, and very well affordable. And I'll get into that in the value piece. But this is one whiskey that I keep all the time. This is probably my 4th or 5th bottle of this, and it's kind of my go-to for Irish whiskey. Whenever I recommend Irish whiskey, or I was looking for a recommendation for Irish whiskey, this is usually where I send them. It's just that good. It's good, well-rounded, and it checks a bunch of boxes for most people, and it gives you just that complex enough notes to kind of keep you coming back for more. And I really enjoy it. It's actually one of those whiskeys that got me into Scotch, believe it or not. It's kind of reminiscent of a Glenfiddich 12, I would say. Not nearly as long, or as doesn't have those smoky characteristics, but it does check a lot of boxes in a comparison to the Glenfiddich 12. Yeah, but without boring you too much with that, we'll get into value proposition. So value-wise, again, very accessible, very approachable, available in most LCBOs or liquor stores, I would think. In my area, it's about $50. $50, you could get a Jameson's Black Barrel, a Bushmills Black, but I think this offers a little bit more of complexity and a little bit more of a flavor profile that I'm very much, I love what you talk about, like, Irish whiskeys being more fruity and everything. This has that fruit to it too, and those nice clean fruit notes, but it's also got that sherry edge to it. It's got those caramel notes, those vanillas that all kind of go with it. So for $50, this is a stock all day of the week. Like I said, I've bought a bunch of these bottles, and I've enjoyed every one of them. And this is the bottle I recommend when people are getting into Irish whiskey, that you want to try something Irish that's not from not a major brand name. Yeah, it's produced by Bushmills, but it's different enough from Bushmills that I would send somebody over there. So yeah, great all-around whiskey, and I'm telling you to go out and not just buy this and try it, but stock it, because it's just that damn good. Yeah, so we'll leave you with that. What's your favorite Irish whiskey? What other kind of Irish whiskeys do you like during this time? Are you a fan of Sexton? please comment. And if you like what we're doing here at Sea Whiskywire, like and subscribe down below. Love seeing those comments. Love seeing you guys watching our videos and enjoying that. And yeah, check me out on Instagram too, at seawaywhiskywire, which I'm also enjoying doing as well, by the way. So we got a little bit more of March coming along. So we got some more Irish stuff coming down the pipe. I will say there's some cocktail stuff coming, so stay tuned for that, as well as a couple more offerings from some other distilleries. So I'll leave you with that. So Slanja, to your health. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you around next time. Bye for now.